Is Jaylen Brown's knee the Celtics' hidden time bomb? Behind the confidence and calm, a storm might be brewing in Boston. Joe Mazzulla wants you to believe everything is under control. "I'm 100% confident," he declared when asked about Jaylen Brown's status for the playoffs. But how confident should we be? Let's talk facts, not fluff. Jaylen Brown sat out the final 2 games of the regular season, halting at just 63 games played. That's 2 games short of the 65 required to qualify for All-NBA and other end-of-season accolades. Coincidence? Not quite. It was a decision, a calculated one. But what lies beneath that choice raises deeper, more uncomfortable questions. Brown isn't just resting. According to ESPN, he received a painkilling injection in his knee. Think about that. Not a precautionary wrap, not ice, not rest. An injection. That's usually a last resort, not a maintenance tool. It's the kind of thing players do when they have to play through something that isn't going away on its own. And this isn't just about pain. It's about performance. In his last 2 games, Brown was on a minute's leash, playing only 22 in each. His explosiveness, the very trait that separates him from the pack, has noticeably dipped. He's been studying Paul Pierce tape, trying to retool his game into something more controlled, more grounded. Admirable? Sure, but also concerning. Why would one of the league's most athletic wings suddenly be modeling himself after a player known for his half-speed footwork and shot creation over athletic bursts? Because he has to. That's why. Mazzulla says Brown knows his body better than anyone, and that he made the call. But that's not the full picture. When an athlete chooses injections over rest, reduced minutes over rhythm, and retools his game in the middle of a playoff push, something's not right. Let's ask the uncomfortable question no one in Boston wants to. Is Jaylen Brown physically ready for a championship run? Or is this team quietly bracing for a star who's operating at 80% and hoping that's enough? Because here's the truth, no one is saying out loud. Boston's title hopes hinge on both of their stars, firing on all cylinders. Jason Tatum alone won't be enough. And while Jrue Holiday, Derek White, and Kristaps Porzingis have had moments of brilliance, none of them can replicate the two-way impact of a fully healthy Jaylen Brown. And what happens if that injection wears off? Mid-series? What if Brown's knee tightens up in Game 3 of the second round? Does Boston have a plan B? Or are they simply hoping that pain management holds out just long enough? Remember, Mazzulla didn't give specifics on the injection. He didn't detail the severity of the knee issue. He didn't lay out a recovery timetable. He simply doubled down on trust in Brown, in the medical staff, and in a process that now involves pharmaceuticals just to keep a franchise cornerstone functional. That's not reassurance. That's damage control dressed in coach speak. And let's not ignore the psychological angle. Brown knows he's not at 100%. How does that affect his mentality, going into games where he's expected to guard the opponent's top wing, run the break, and be a secondary playmaker? If you're playing through pain, you're thinking more and reacting less. That hesitation, even a split second, can be deadly in the playoffs. So let's not sugarcoat it. Jaylen Brown is hurt, not sidelined, but not right. And while Mazzulla insists on confidence, fans would be wise to read between the lines. This is Boston. Expectations are sky high. Anything short of another finals appearance would be seen as a failure. And if Brown isn't healthy, everything changes. The Celtics open their postseason against the play-in winner, likely a lower seed, maybe even a warm-up. But the real test comes later, when the Bucks, the Sixers, or even the Knicks come knocking. Boston can't afford half measures or half speed. They'll need Brown at his best. Not on tape delay, not on limited minutes, not on injections. The question is, will they get him? And what if they don't? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to go deeper into what Brown's shift means for Boston's offensive identity, or how this echoes Paul George's injury-ridden 2021 playoff run, stay tuned. We're just getting started. No, Peyton Pritchard doesn't want your trophy. But should that make him the favorite? In a league addicted to accolades, media narratives, and carefully crafted campaigns, Peyton Pritchard just did the unthinkable. He said no to the spotlight, no to the noise. No to the need for validation through hardware. After wrapping up the best season of his career and firmly placing himself in the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year conversation, Pritchard refused to politic for the award. His exact words? "There's no need for that. If I get it, great. But it's just another stepping stone." That answer might sound humble, noble even, but in today's NBA, where optics are currency and individual brands often matter more than box scores, it might cost him dearly. Let's get this straight. Payton Pritchard has every right to push his case. This season, he became one of the most efficient bench weapons in the entire league. He averaged 14.1 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 3.4 assists across 80 games. He rarely missed a night, stayed consistent in every role he was thrown into, and closed the season with a thunderous 34-point, 7-rebound, 7-assist explosion. But he won't say any of that to earn votes, and maybe that's exactly why he should. Win. Think about it. While other candidates have been front and center in highlight reels, interviews, and sponsored content, Pritchard has stayed quiet, steady, focused. He doesn't just show up when the lights are on. He is the light that keeps the engine running when no one's watching. Still, this opens up a question the league is rarely comfortable asking. Is humility a weakness now? It shouldn't be. Not when we're talking about a player who has spent years behind the scenes, working tirelessly for a shot like this. He sat behind veterans. He watched games from the end of the bench. He waited. He stayed ready. And when the moment came, he delivered without hesitation. And let's be honest, Pritchard didn't just produce. He adapted, adjusted, and elevated the entire second unit of a contender. When starters rested, he stabilized. When rotations changed, he remained dependable. And when the Celtics needed a burst of life, he answered. If we're going to reward the true spirit of the sixth man role, isn't that what it's all about? But there's another, more uncomfortable layer to this. Because while Pritchard is staying quiet, the system around him is doing exactly the opposite for others. Candidates with louder narratives, bigger markets, or simply flashier quotes will be discussed more. And in a media landscape driven by clicks and controversy, voters often follow the buzz. So here's the dilemma. If Pritchard loses the award, is it because he wasn't the best bench player, or is it because he didn't play the game off the court? This brings us to a deeper question. What exactly is this award supposed to measure now? Is it production off the bench? Is it individual impact on a winning team? Or is it now just a popularity contest? Pritchard checks the real boxes. Not just numbers, but dependability. Not just performances, but purpose. He's not just part of a winning team. He helped make them one. And he did it without demanding attention or altering the team's identity to suit his own. So what should voters value? Flash or foundation? And to fans, are we still willing to reward a player who doesn't shout for recognition? Or have we reached a point where silence is interpreted as irrelevance? The truth is, Pritchard might never ask for your vote. But if you watch this Celtics season closely, you already know he deserves it. Now here's a follow-up that nobody's really asking. If Payton Pritchard played the exact same season in Los Angeles or New York, would this award even be a debate? Dropper. Your take in the comments. And stay tuned, because next we're breaking down how Pritchard's numbers compare to past sixth-man winners from the last 15 years. Some of the results may surprise you. Kristaps Porzingis, ready to take center stage as Celtics. Aim for another championship as the Boston Celtics prepare for their playoff push. One name that was once a huge question mark is now standing tall. Kristaps Porzingis, the big man who was supposed to be a major gamble coming into this season, has now positioned himself as a pivotal piece of the Celtics' title hopes. His presence on the court in the final regular season game, watching from the bench as Boston triumphed over the Hornets, wasn't just a moment of rest. It was a symbol of his newfound stability. Before the season began, the questions surrounding Porzingis were undeniable. Coming off a major leg surgery, many wondered if he would ever fully return to form. His delayed debut in November only added to the uncertainty. But here we are, heading into the postseason, and Porzingis has emerged as one of the Celtics' most consistent and impactful players, leaving fans and analysts alike stunned. What's even more remarkable, Porzingis has managed to stay healthy, a feat that's eluded him for much of his career. Since the turn of the year, he has been a steady force in Boston's lineup, playing 42 games without missing a single contest due to leg issues, a huge departure from his injury-riddled past. And it's not just about being available, it's about the level of play he's maintained. With a shooting percentage of 41.2% from beyond the arc, he's become a legitimate floor spacer, demanding respect from defenders. Meanwhile, his career low, 1.3 turnovers per game, shows a level of control and maturity that many thought he had lost in previous seasons. But it's not just the statistics that are impressive. Porzingis has given the Celtics exactly what they needed: a reliable second option to Jason Tatum. While many predicted his health would be a major liability, it's been smooth sailing for the most part since his early ankle issues, and his ability to stay in the lineup without significant setbacks has been crucial for Boston's success. Even in March, when he sat out for a 7-game stretch due to illness, the rest of his absences have been strategic, rest days and back-to-backs, which is exactly what you'd expect from a player coming off surgery but finally finding his rhythm. Throughout the final stretch of the regular season, Porzingis was instrumental in Boston's dominance, helping the team finish with an impressive 61-21 record. His performance during the final months was a key factor in the Celtics' charge, and his ability to produce on both ends of the floor made a significant impact on their overall success. As Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla put it, it's a testament to the guys, really, in the locker room. Porzingis isn't just a bystander on a star-studded team. He's a legitimate contributor, someone who stepped up when it mattered most. But now, the true test begins. Porzingis has never made a deep postseason run. In his entire 9-year NBA career, he's never played more than 7 games in a single playoff series. With the Celtics looking to defend their championship aspirations, Porzingis' ability to step up in the high-pressure environment of the playoffs will be scrutinized more than ever before. Adding to that pressure, the uncertainty surrounding Jaylen Brown's knee injury only amplifies the need for Porzingis to rise to the occasion. Although Brown is expected to be ready for Game 1, Porzingis could very well be asked to carry an even heavier load, depending on how Brown's injury progresses. The road to the finals will be more challenging this year, with the Celtics facing a tougher field of contenders. But here's the thing: Boston's own roster may be better equipped for that challenge than ever before. And a huge part of that is Porzingis. If he can stay on the floor, the Celtics could potentially breeze through the first 2 rounds, keeping their energy intact for the grueling Eastern Conference Finals and beyond. As the playoff journey begins next weekend at TD Garden, Kristaps Porzingis is not just another player in the mix. He's a key factor in Boston's quest to repeat. And with the Celtics potentially facing some of the greatest challengers in NBA history, the timing couldn't be more perfect for Porzingis to make his most meaningful imprint on this title run.